Reforms in the judiciary is a must. This is the challenge that faces Supreme Court Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. It is also her commitment. The question is, will she fulfill this promise? Joining us tonight is Congressman Reynaldo Umali, member of the House Justice Committee and one of the prosecutors in the Corona impeachment trial. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, and to all our televiewers.
Sir, as a law practitioner before you entered Congress, what was your frustration with our justice system? And if you had a wish list, give us 3 areas which Chief Justice Sereno should focus on reforms and why.
Well, one is the backlog of cases, which I think gave a lot of problems to the judiciary. Of course, the second is corruption in the judiciary. And I think I'd like to just focus on these 2 items, which I think can very well be addressed by the new Chief Justice.
Okay, sir, so let's start with the backlog of cases from the lower courts to the Supreme Court. It just shows how slow the wheels of justice moves in this country. What measures can be done by the Chief Justice to ensure faster delivery of justice?
Well, for one, I think the full use of the modes of discovery is one thing that will hasten and expedite resolution of cases. This is not being done before, or this is not being used before, and somehow this contributed to the backlog of cases. Of course, the appointment to the judiciary is something also that Chief Justice Sereno should focus on, because in the past there were a lot of courts created by the House of Representatives, but then for reasons only known to the Supreme Court, they never really filled up and created these courts that were created by act of Congress. So again, because of the lack of appointments or the vacancies in the judiciary, a lot of things, these things contributed to the backlog of cases and the continuing additional number of cases that had to be resolved by the few judges that were appointed to the various courts.
Sir, why do you think, why is that so? The problem of filling up of vacancies in the court, the lack of salas and judges?
Well, for one, I think, we were looking into this. This is one of the things that we wanted to prosecute during the impeachment case. We found out in one of the COA reports that a lot of the funds that were released to the Supreme Court and to the judiciary was not used because these were being used for purposes of augmenting the salaries of judges, the allowances, and so on and so forth. And so I think a lot of savings were spent for things other than the creation of these courts.
So, sir, there's so much to be done, and for sure this cannot be solved overnight. It takes time. Can she work a miracle?
Well, she has 18 long years, and I think this will be more than ample time. But then she should not wait until the end of her term. I think she should start now, and good enough, because her pronouncements really would point to this direction, and giving, her pronouncements like how she wants the court to consider, like, for example, the media. They want dignified silence, and I think this is one of the better things that ought to be done by the Supreme Court, so that the lost confidence in the Supreme Court can be regained.
Now, sir, moving on to corruption, as you've mentioned earlier, hoodlums in robes. This was how former President described corrupt judges. Do we have plenty of them, and are decisions sold for a price? What can be done to uncover them?
Well, I guess it's close monitoring. I think the court administrator should do better in terms of monitoring how these courts are conducting themselves. I think a lot of lifestyle checks would be necessary for the Supreme Court and the court administrator to do to find out how the justice or the judges and the members of the court are conducting themselves, because you know, we can see this in many of the lifestyle of some of the judges, that this is far different from how they should be conducting themselves.
So, sir, another thing, politics was a major reason for the downfall of former Chief Justice Corona. Are we confident that this time the Supreme Court is insulated from politics?
Insulated from politics, I guess with a strong leadership in the Supreme Court, I think, and the determination, and I think many of us have already learned our lessons, and for which reason I think we will now be more, I guess, you know, the judges will conduct themselves better. I think they will be more cautious, and even the justices will be more cautious. And I think with the leadership of Chief Justice Sereno, these things can happen.
Finally, sir, what else can be done to restore back the people's trust to our courts? And also, we are, especially with what the President is after now, transparency and accountability.
Yes, the Supreme Court did right. Chief Justice Sereno did right in first opening her SALN to the public. I guess the other members of the Judiciary or the Supreme Court had already followed suit. I think this should very well be applied to all other members of the Judiciary. And I think there is now a clear determination to be more transparent and to be more accountable. But of course, things will not happen. The changes will not happen overnight, because I'm sure there will be resistance to this. I guess the Philippine Judges Association should also heed the call of the people for transparency and accountability, and so are the rest of the associations of judges and members of the judiciary.
All right, sir. On that note, thank you so much for joining us tonight on News Live. That was Congressman Reynaldo Umali of Mindoro Oriental, member of the House Justice Committee. Thank you, sir.